Alright, today we are coming from the place where all the magic happens, my purple bedroom. And I got actually an email recently from a guy named Jim. He actually wrote me, he said, "My name is Jim, I go to Iowa, I used to see you in the rec all the time, and I love your videos." Your shout out, man, I appreciate you. I'm glad you watch. I was just wondering what your cutting plan is. I'm finishing up my bulk to 220, and I feel fat as hell, and I want to get this weight off. First, another side note is, dude, anytime you bulk, man, you're gonna feel fat as hell. I feel fat as hell right now, but you gotta tough it out, man. You gotta keep trying to make those gains. But anyways, he continues to go on and says he wants to get lean and look good, but not lose 3 years worth of work by cutting wrong. Thanks for reading this. Really appreciate your feedback. You are a beast, man. Like I said, I appreciate you, Jim, because this is actually a question I get all the time. I would say at least once a week I get the same question, this cutting question, wanting to kind of retain your gains, right, when cutting, but not really knowing exactly where to start. So I decided to make this video to kind of help everybody out, because I give the same advice to everybody that asks me this question. And the first thing I always tell people is to gather information, right? Take 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and download a food tracker app, whether that be Lose It, which is the one that I use, or MyFitnessPal, or whichever one works best for you, and track your food, what you're currently eating, whether you're going to, since I know you're in Iowa City, you might be hitting Shorts up, you might be hitting Chipotle up, you might be hitting Airliners up, whatever it is, try your best to track it. For the most part, you should be able to find it all, right, on the tracker, or find something comparable. You know, a burger with avocado and bacon, whatever, you know. Just track it, track all your food. Then after a week or two, kind of look at your data and say, all right, I've been eating X amount of calories on average per day. My macronutrients, my carbs, my protein and fat are at these numbers, and kind of, you know, draw a hypothesis of, you know, what your body's doing right now. If in those 2 weeks you're gaining weight too, you can assume that you're still eating more calories than your maintenance calories. Your maintenance calories is how many calories you need to take in to maintain your current weight. So first couple weeks, just gather information and try to see where and what your starting point is going to be. Second point is planning your cut, right? So let's say you on average eat 3,000 calories a day, and you're maintaining your current weight of 220, then at this point you know, or you can at least assume, make an educated guess, that your maintenance calories is 3,000 calories. So you just say, okay, well, I'm going to continue to track my food, and this week I'm going to try 2,600 calories. So right, you're lessening your calories by 400 calories per day, which, you know, at the end of the week equals 2,800 calories, or at least, you know, a solid pound. I mean, that's kind of the way that I look at it, at least, is you know, what's that going to add up to for the week. So, you know, you can make changes like that to your diet. Now, a lot of people feel differently about this as far as what you should be eating. I think, you know, 70 to 80% should be quote unquote clean foods, or foods that are, you know, micronutrient dense, or, you know, like seen as clean. I hate this word clean, but it gets used often and people understand it when you say clean. And I kind of I took a list from a gentleman named Dr. Layne Norton, who I use. He's a professional natural bodybuilder and power lifter. He's got a really good foods list, so I'll make sure to put it right there, and keep it in the description so you can kind of check it out. It's the same one I give everybody that asks me this question, but for the most part, 70, I would say, % of my diet while cutting is from this list. The other 30% is maybe not foods that are seen on that list, but things that I actually want. So, you know, let's say you want to get a Pancheros burrito one day, that would kind of fit into that category of foods. And a place like Pancheros, I know, has all their macronutrient information online, I believe. So this kind of gives you a way to kind of eat some of the things you want, but also sticking to, you know, micronutrient foods that will help you retain muscle, right? Because that was the important part of it. So you're planning your cut, right? You obviously got the diet that we just talked about, but you also need to consider cardio and the way that you're currently training. I mean, I, for the most part, train the same way all the time. Usually about 6 days a week, with a either push-pull legs type split or a chest and arms, shoulders and back leg split. So, you know, you can increase the frequency of your training. If you're currently training 4 days a week, maybe start training 6 days a week. That means just you're going to burn more calories, right, while you're training. Also, I always recommend, sorry, I had a burp there, adding in, you know, 30 minutes of cardio in the morning or whenever you can after class, and getting that cardio in. That's another way for you to burn calories, right? Rather than just reducing your calories that you intake. I personally don't track the cardio calories. Obviously, I kind of keep a mental note, but at the same time, that's just extra calories that you're going to be burning. But I don't put it into the tracker. You can. You have that, you know, option to put in exercise, but personally, I don't. So this is kind of how you plan your cut and kind of go about, you know, figuring out how many calories you should eat. As far as macronutrient recommendations, when cutting, definitely 1 gram of protein per body weight is something I recommend. I think it's really, you know, if you're trying to retain as much as possible, you need to get in that protein. Unfortunately, your body is a puzzle, so carbs and fat can be kind of, you know, you're almost going to have to trial and error it and see how your body reacts. So, you know, say do 220 grams of protein, then you say, okay, well, the rest of my calories are going to, you know, come mostly of fat one week, or the rest of my calories are going to come mostly of carbs that week. Just kind of see, you know, play with those numbers and see how it works. I also do about, you know, 20 to 30 grams of fiber. I think is really important too, just for digestion and making sure that you're getting the most out of this food. This food is normally more expensive, so obviously you want to be getting the most out of it and getting all the nutrients that you can possibly get from it. You know, so after you plan your cut, obviously you're going to have to adapt to your changes. I mean, unfortunately, your body's not going to just gradually lose, you know, 2 pounds a week for 16 weeks. There's going to be weeks where you probably lose a lot more, and there's going to be weeks where you probably lose, you know, a lot less. You know, if you're only losing half pound on average for, you know, multiple weeks, and you might need to lower your calories, increase your cardio, or what have you. But you kind of got to make those changes as you go. And then obviously, you know, after your cut, which I usually do a cut of 12 to 16 weeks, you kind of recap your progress. You know, kind of see what you did well, what you think that you could have done differently to save you time, whatever it is to kind of get you in the best shape. You know, you said you've been working out for 3 years. You know, this is kind of your chance to see what you really got. You know, because you really never know how much muscle you got until you strip it down and you're low on body fat. So I hope these tips really, you know, help you, Jim, and you know, let me know how it goes, because like I said, I'm more than willing to answer all of your guys' questions. I love answering these kind of questions. But I thought that I would make a video for this one specifically because it's one that I get all the time. So, Jim, let me know how it goes. Any of you other subscribers, people that watch these videos, feel free to comment with any additional follow-up questions. But for now, keep slaying.